Hello and welcome to your weekly Excel tutorial with Dave. Today we're going to be talking about writing macros in Microsoft Excel, which are written in Visual Basic for Applications, more commonly known as VBA. Macros are short programs that will get specific tasks done for you in Microsoft Excel. So let's get started. There are two ways that you can access the VBA Editor. The first that I'm going to show you is if you have the developer ribbon enabled, you can go to this Visual Basic button here at the left-hand side. A little bit easier to get started is this View menu. So you go in the View ribbon and go under Macros, and then you can just type your macro name. What we're going to be doing is going to be creating a message box. So I'm going to name this Message Box. And remember, there are no spaces in a macro name. So hit Create here, and it brings up the VBA Editor. What I'm going to do is actually give you just a very simple code here. And for our purposes, this is the end of the macro. So we have a subroutine, so it has sub here, and then this is the end of the subroutine. And we only have one command in that subroutine called messagebox with no input variables. So I'm going to minimize this for a moment. Now, what we have to do here is we call the macro, and there are a couple ways that you can do this. The simplest way is to go back to macros, and now we have our message box macro, and we hit run. So we have this informational message box that says hello world, and hit OK. Another way you can do that is actually to insert SmartArt. So if you have a shape or any kind of SmartArt, or if you have the developer ribbon, you can insert controls. So if I have this button here, it asks me what to associate, what code to associate with the button. I select the message box macro and hit OK. And now I have this button that tells me hello world. So now, obviously, when we save this, we'll want to hit Save As. And remember to take your book, and we'll call it Message Box. And you'll want to save as type, not Excel workbook, but a macro-enabled workbook for Excel. You'll have also these several different options here, binary workbook and Excel 97 2003 workbook, depending on what versions of Excel that you have installed. I have 2010 operating on this machine, so we'll make it an Excel macro-enabled workbook and hit Save. So now your macros will work the next time that you open this sheet. And we'll hit the button again just to say hello world again. So if you liked this video, if you found it helpful, please subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or send me a message, and I'll get back to you. Thank you.